So. Hello and welcome again to the 2021 Great Lakes Regional Championship. We are in the ladder bracket. This is Ball State versus Michigan State. Joining me are two veteran players, Allie Marcus, an alum of Ball State, Christina Packard, an alum of Michigan State. Thank you so much for joining me. Nice to see you both.
Hey, appreciate you having us. It's a pleasure to get to watch our two prior schools face off against one another.
This is going to be very interesting because we've got a lot of deep cut kind of relationships with both of these teams, I feel like.
Absolutely. So. There are kids.
Tiny babies.
As a matter of fact.
I mean, is this our first Great Lakes versus Great Lakes game?
Maybe.
It might be the first official Great Lakes versus Great Lakes and no Midwest, Northeast, Mid-Atlantic teams. I do believe. At least the first one that I've sat in and watched.
Has Ball State played Michigan yet?
I do not know. Not that I watched, anyway. Here we go. Getting our cheers in.
Like the other Michigan.
Right?
What is this?
I don't know. I haven't heard this one before. This one's news to me.
This does not sound like the Michigan State I know.
Ball State.
That sounds like the Ball State I know.
All right.
Both teams starting this off with a bang.
Absolutely. Looks like during the toss earlier, Michigan State decided to go with bludger control. Ball State walking the quaffle up.
We got Alyssa Irwin in the back trying to get that bludger back.
Absolutely. Number 99, Joel Klein. Been pretty cool as a beater for Michigan State, but unfortunately he gets his pocket picked by Alyssa Irwin.
So direct quote from Alyssa Irwin this morning in an earlier game in a turtle fight over a bludger was, "I can do this all day, honey." So
yeah, well, she's definitely doing a good job protecting.
She has the bludger.
Minnick is wrapped by Klein, stripped of the ball, and Quaffle turtled by Claire Jones at the Michigan State hoops. No goals yet. We are split even. Still 0-0.
I'm not sure how Michigan State got that bludger back. Because for a second, Ball State did have it.
It was basically a pure force. I think Klein basically just ripped it from the hands of Dustin Minnick.
Yikes.
Yes. Okay. But Michigan State leading the way with their bludgers. Pass behind the hoops. Shot taken. No good, but recovered by Ethan Wanis. Wanis looking for an opening. Pass the ball to Claire Jones. Claire trying to charge in, but she gets tackled by Zach. There is a whistle on the play.
That looked like some neck contact or possibly some back contact or possibly a mix of both.
Yeah, definitely. The ref seemed to have seen something there, and it looks like he's motioning with his hand that there was contact to the back of the neck.
Yep.
So, unfortunate for Ball State, but Zach will have to switch out their headband, and they will have someone in the box for 1 minute, and Michigan State, I assume, is going to be given the quaffle right there in front of the hoop. So we will see if Alyssa can make the beat before Claire can put the quaffle through the hoop.
Yes.
More or less. Claire
she doesn't
the ball off.
There it is. I was expecting to hold the quaffle through the hoop for
Right?
the whistle, but
So we have our
it's
first
kind
goal.
of fallen out of fashion.
First goal of the game by Gwendolyn Pratt of Michigan State. All right. Ball State walking in the ball up. Michigan State holding on to bludger control.
Ball State needs to focus on being patient because that has been. They've got a lot of rookies, a lot of people brand new to this game, but they have some people out there right now who've had some significant summer experience.
Absolutely.
And a lot of good ball handling experience going on right now.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, 4 of the players currently on the field for Ball State played with Indianapolis Intensity in some capacity this summer.
Yep.
Pass behind the hoops, beat by Klein. Picked up by Ethan Wanis. Michigan State also featuring a few players that have experience from MLQ this summer. A few Detroit innovators in Claire Jones and Ethan Wanis, and possibly more. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure if anybody else played for them at the time, but it's good to have that kind of experience. I do know they have a couple of seniors that have lasted on the team through the pandemic with them as well. Michigan State gains bludger control back after a quick call. Looks like Dustin Minnick got beat. Tim Brown of Michigan State with the quaffle, trying to work his way in, passes the ball off to Wanis. Wanis takes the shot, deflected by Liz Prime. Scrum for the quaffle by the small hoop. Referee has hand in the air. I think he was just counting down though.
Oh!
Claire Jones somehow comes up with the quaffle. I have no idea how
I don't know how
happened.
that
She just
happened.
simply popped up and had the quaffle in her hands and scores for Michigan State. Scores 20-0.
That was quick.
That was very quick.
Our score is 20-0 State, which I don't like to say,
No.
but I'm sure you do.
I'm okay. But I have ties to some of these
Back to
babies.
Prime in the back. She's getting a lot of coverage in. She's beat.
Oh no, that's unfortunate because she definitely looked like she was going to press
Yes.
through those players as much as she could until they stopped her. Actually talked to Liz Prime prior to this game, and she was talking about how she wanted to get some dunks because she hasn't done that yet this tournament. Wanis walking the quaffle up for Michigan State. Ball State with bludger control.
Does have the control, yes.
Yeah, in the hands of Minnick and Irwin, who were killing it earlier today. Pass behind the hoops. Shot no
Did not
good.
go in.
Picked up by Wanis. No beat on the play. And Wanis just takes a far shot through that top hoop. 30-0 Michigan State. I'm sorry, Allie.
Eh.
But it looks
We've
like there's
subbed out Alyssa Irwin for Delaney Bankston, who relatively new, but it's starting to click for her a lot. She played before COVID.
And Helen Trudell carrying
Yes.
the quaffle. I love Helen. And then
She is tiny, but she is fierce.
yes, she is. And then Patton carrying the quaffle now for Ball State after Trudell passes the ball off. He was critical in getting the goals that they earned earlier against Blue Jay Quidditch. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to turn the tables for Ball State here against Michigan State.
They've got a couple behind the hoops,
Yeah. Pass across
trying to keep
Trudell.
those passes happening.
Patton passes
Especially
behind the hoops to Davis.
That is Gavin Mock.
Well, that's Mock. Sorry.
Yes.
My
Fun fact,
apologies.
he went to my high school. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that just did not finish.
Yeah, got to be able to put the ball through the hoop. The way the game works, unfortunately.
Ball State, they have new beaters.
All right, Michigan State with some fresh speeders into play.
I know I've played with her, but I cannot remember her name right now.
Number 14, Caitlin
Knudsen.
Knudsen, sorry. Apologies on the pronunciation. And it looks like number 69, Jack Myers. A couple of bludgers exchanged, but Ball State still holding on to bludger control. Behind the hoops, Michigan State gets it through that top hoop.
Have they scored any of their goals yet from the front of the hoops?
I don't think that they have yet, but that goal was made by Tim Brown. I think every single goal. No, I think one of the first ones that Juanes got was from the front, but the majority of them seem to have been from behind the hoops, and they're definitely favoring that top hoop.
It feels like they try to make it from the front and then clean it up in the back.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Is that considered the mullet of Quidditch, if you will?
Don't do that. I have seen too many mullets this weekend.
They're back.
They are back.
Don't say that.
All right, Patton passes off to Trudell in front of the Michigan State hoops. Trudell back to Patton, protected by Delaney Bankston.
Be smart.
Patton making a rush and gets tackled by Juanes, but it's going to be a whistle on the play. I do believe that Juanes might have come over his shoulder.
Is that Dane?
On that tackle, but I am uncertain. It also might have just been a stoppage because Patton did not get up immediately. So we're going to have a short stoppage of play while we get a player tended to. What do you think of Ball State so far, Allie Marcus?
I'm a little grumpy right now. I don't know why they have 0 goals. I think a lot of that patience is kind of not happening yet, and they need to keep those passes moving.
Give
and
him
I think
space, give him space. Yeah, hopefully Ball State can make the adjustments that they need to moving forward from this. It might be quite a loss, so I know Patton has been critical for them scoring their goals. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Good to see we are slowly getting up, hopefully. Never a fun part of any game.
Gavin, I'll go with him. Gavin, I'll go with him.
Momentarily here. That is going to be quite the loss for Ball State, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ball State has always run on a lot of emotion just over the years, and how they react in this moment is going to be absolutely critical to the rest of their day.
Yeah. And starting with this game specifically.
It's always going to be such a shock when one of your key players get taken out.
Absolutely.
You know, but player safety is number one priority.
Mm-hmm.
These players are now here. There's been an injury sub, I assume.
Yes.
So we hope that Ball State is able to reconnect and keep going, because they've had a strong but difficult weekend so far.
Yes, absolutely. This being their third game of the day already today. Quaffle starting with Ball State. Helen Trudell carrying it to the far side of the pit now due to the penalty call on the injury. I believe the call was back contact, so Ball State has 1 minute, and they're able to capitalize on that.
Dawn Minnick.
Ball State on the board. Score is 40-10. Michigan State leads.
Dawn Minnick is the younger sister of beater Dustin Minnick, who is currently on the bench. Yep. Yep.
That's awesome. Michigan State getting some fresh legs in the Quaffle game. We got number 7, Nathan Clemente, joining us, as well as number 42, Lucas Marklin. I hope I said that right. And Ash Toth as well. Makes the shot from behind the hoops. AR calls it good. But Ball State.
David Brewer
able to just pick up that Quaffle and run with it completely unopposed.
So was that goal from Michigan State no good, or?
Nope, the goal for Michigan State was good. I think the score
they were
table
both good.
might be hesitant because they didn't hear.
Yeah, I think
The
score
full
table
call?
is confirming.
Yes.
But it sounded via whistles as if it was a good goal for Michigan State directly into a Ball State fast break.
And the score table did just update the scorecard to 50-20.
Okay.
So I believe that they realized their error or were cued by the referee or AR on their side that yes, that was indeed a good goal by Ash Toth.
Yellow card, Michigan State number 14, illegal contact.
13, their beater.
Yep, Caitlin Knudsen with
Contact
The
behind the
card.
neck.
Yep, but will serve no time due to the quick reversal of the goal by Ball State. Oh, never mind. She's going
She
to
is
the
serving
box.
time.
Okay, I thought he had said that she wouldn't be serving time, but it must have happened before the goal, I think. It's been a long day here and a long weekend. We will get things right. Michigan State slowly walking the Quaffle up the pitch, as you should when you're facing a team such as Ball State with bludger control. Passes to Clemente, passes the ball off to Toth. Toth back up top to Clemente. Clemente out to Marklin. Marklin wrapped up, but I think that might
I think
get
they're
called
gonna
for below the
call.
knee.
Yes, that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
And once you get below the knee, you are required to not initiate or to let go,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
After you get below the knee, you have to let go, and it looks like in that situation, it looked like he kind of tried to let go,
Just
but his
kinda
leg
slid
stayed wrapped around
Oh.
his leg from the looks of it to me. So that's going to be a card for number 58 of Ball State.
Gavin Mock,
Mock.
also their president.
First card of the day for Mock. As most of you probably know at this point, current USQ rules now allow for 3 yellow cards to be stacked before the player has to remain out for the remainder of the game.
Looks like
Toth with the Quaffle at mid-pitch for Michigan State. Slowly walking it up. Charging in. Passes off. No good. Blocked by Trudell. Toth ends up with the Quaffle in their hands again. Takes the shot.
that was, who is that?
And it looks like it was considered
I can't see a number. Their keeper, number
42.
42?
Yep, so Marklin.
Yes.
Yes. Marklin has been pretty critical for Michigan State today. I think the height definitely helps. Michigan State does have quite a few tall players. All right, both beaters got beat out at center pitch. There is one bludger in the hands of Jack Myers. Ball State trying to trace down the others.
Ball State has used the reset, but it is recovered by number 7.
Clemente of Michigan State. Michigan State Quaffle slowly walking up. Jack Myers, beater from Michigan State, got ahead of the rest of his players. Got beat out in the process. Now going back to hoops to tag up. So Michigan State down a beater at this point. But Caitlin Knudsen with the bludger leading the way for her Quaffle players.
Ball State with control.
Great tackle. Ooh. Markland got brought down by, looked like Mock of Ball State. Kind of made for an errant pass, and Ball State was able to pick the Quaffle back up. Michigan State looks like they are running a trees defense or hoop defense, depending on what you choose to call it, I guess.
The Minnesota defense.
The Minnesota defense.
We're that old.
The Baylor defense. There's so many different names for it. And even with it, number 8 of Ball State cannot be stopped.
David Brewer, he is rearing to go all the time. It's beautiful.
Hey, he's keeping his team in this. Score right now is 60-30. Michigan State leads.
Ball State has been holding on to bludger control for a minute, which is great.
I was going to say, I think each time we've tried to run back at Ball State, they've held 2 bludgers in their hands.
I noticed the we. I'm not going to let that slide.
Michigan State slowly walking it off. Juanis back in at keeper. Claire Jones also in for Michigan State. Bridget Weiss behind the hoops for Michigan State. Juanis, Toth, and Jones just trying to move the Quaffle around up top, trying to find an opening through the Ball State bludgers. Juanis charges but gets stopped. Goes all the way.
And falls, drops his broom.
Yeah, I think he might have gotten beat just shortly before that.
Looked like he was trying to block it.
Yes.
And then everything fell.
Yeah.
Broom and Quaffle.
One of those moments where I think you're just not quite sure what happened, and in the moment you just sort of, lose your grip on your broom and try to drop the ball all at once. So, unfortunate, but we'll see if they move any of the balls on the field, because it looks like head referee Matt Melton is discussing with a couple of players and maybe some of his ARs as to what happens. Michigan State's speaking captain, on the pitch as well to clarify with Matt Melton what the call is for the stoppage.
It does look like David Brewer, keeper, is in the midst of that. So hopefully for me, the ball goes to him, because they do have a chaser right there.
They certainly do.
Something will happen with... That is Markland, right? That's not Markland.
All right, 1 minute timeout, I think, was called by Ball State.
Juanis.
Probably a good time to use it if that Quaffle is in the hands of keeper for Ball State. Really, Trudell's right there next to the middle hoop without much opposition, as long as the bludgers can be stopped, which I think they both might be in Ball State's hands.
They are,
down
yes.
here, and the third one's back here past the keeper zone. So.
Yes, the Delaney and Will combo has been holding on to those bludgers pretty tightly, which is great.
Yeah, Ball State overall, just bludger control has been amazing.
And not even holding on to them tightly in the sense that they're not throwing.
Right.
Like, they've been recovering.
I was going to say, in the fact that they're making smart beater plays.
Yes.
As a beater, you don't want to throw too hard and then have the ball go bouncing way off pitch that you have to chase it down to recover. You got to make those small beats when you need them.
How long has Will been playing? Just this semester? Will. Yeah, number 18, Will Ramsey, has only been playing this semester. So, with a combination of him and Delaney, it has been really nice to see that.
So very, very new individual, rookie individual, making an appearance here at Great Lakes Regionals for Ball State. Players are returning to their brooms. This looks like we should be getting started here momentarily.
Currently 30-60, State's lead.
But still technically within range though. It's being 35 now. Although I'm curious
if Ball
as to
State's
where...
not up by 10 goals, I'm not happy. So
That's true.
I don't like close games.
I love them.
Yeah,
They get my heart racing.
that's why I don't like them.
It's a good feeling.
Yes, that ball is in David Brewer's hands.
Yep, Brewer
Lots of subs on Ball State.
And yes, almost a whole entire line change for Ball State.
We brought in Zoc at beater instead of Quaffle now with, I think that is Lauren's Where is her name? Ontel. Lauren Ontel at chaser. Liz Prime with the ball.
Michigan State running their trees defense again.
With both bludgers now.
I was going to say, managed to get both bludgers in their hands.
Somehow that happened when, I think, in the sub shuffle.
Yeah, in the transition for sure. But one of them on the ground now gets passed behind the hoops to Will. And there's a bit of a scrum for bludgers in mid-pitch for Zach. And with the bludgers down, with the beaters on the ground trying to fight for control, Ball State manages to score. There is a stoppage immediately after, though. We'll wait for refs to confer and let us know exactly what went down. I don't know if it's going to be on the tackle with bludgers. Yes, it is.
Contact from behind on Zach. Is that the second yellow card?
I believe that might be Zach's second yellow card of the game.
I didn't see it.
I think they might have got one earlier on. I'm not sure if they were a beater.
Oh,
or
it was the
chaser
net
at time.
contact thing.
The
at
net
very
contact,
beginning,
yep.
yes.
As
a
keeper,
chaser?
as a keeper, yes, because they had to switch their headband. So they were
yeah.
a keeper, and then since there's got to be a keeper on the pitch, they became a chaser to go to the box. Michigan State ends up with bludger control out of all of the madness, and keeper Ethan Wanis walking the quaffle up pitch. We're also getting some fresh legs into the bludger game.
Once again, putting a chaser behind the hoops.
Trying to see who our new beater line is. Looks like number 85, Jay Hartnett.
Claire takes it too close, goes under, and somebody in red caught it, I saw. But
Yes, it looks like a
might have
keeper
been.
for Ball State got their hands on it before Wanis could get his hands on it. Ball State with a bit of a jog, heading back up the pitch. Might have actually been a good time for them to run, because it didn't look like anyone on Michigan State was turned around to even look at them. They were all running with their backs
They
away.
did have both of those bludgers, though, so I'm glad they did
That
not.
is true. Yeah. Can't really run on two bludgers. I mean, you can, it's just probably frowned upon.
It's stressful.
Right?
Let's not.
A little bit of a change
They
in
are
the
moving it
defense
around,
for
though.
Michigan State. They are having their keeper, Ethan Wanis, play at the top of the keeper zone.
Ball
Something
State-
that we've been seeing a lot more, I think, in recent tournaments, because the keeper can't
To
be
Lauren
beat.
gets blocked. Someone jumped on it in a beautiful way.
Yeah,
18.
Gwendolyn Pratt of Michigan State turtles that quaffle at
Well,
her
you're
hoops.
left, you're left.
Michigan State
Ball State
walking the quaffle up again.
has the potential to have control right now. I don't like saying it unless it's actually in a beater's hand, but Zoc still has the bludger. Yes, Ball
yeah.
State has control.
Zach playing
I like it.
very aggressive with that bludger there, trying to make a beat on number 85 Hart.
Yeah, I'm not sure I followed why.
Yeah,
But
going
it
for
was
the
a lot
quaffle
of
a little
flying,
bit early, I think.
a lot of flying bludgers.
But that's all right. There were a lot of flying bludgers on that, though, with not a lot happening in the quaffle play at all at that time.
Wanis passes
To Jones.
Jones.
Yep, and then she passes back to Wanis. Back to Jones. Running it in towards Ball State hoops. Pass behind the hoops.
And we're behind again.
Shot too high.
But I think that was a beat.
Yep, and Wanis got beat when he tried to make the catch. Has to go tag up and drop the quaffle. Jones.
Jake.
Jones trying to tackle the Ball State keeper, just cannot keep her hands on him as he pushes his way through, and then takes a shot. Wanis ends up with quaffle in hands. We are still at 60-30. We've been at 60-30, I think, for like the last 5 minutes of play. There's been a lot of defensive stops.
There's been a lot of whistles that have not been indicating good goals. So.
Yeah, a lot of non-existent whistles, if you will.
Well, whistles for other things.
Yeah, but none for goals.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a token to the strength of the defense on both sides, or if the shots just aren't looking that good at this point in the day.
Oh, Dustin Minnick is back in it.
Pass to Wanis. Wanis
Beater.
charging in on the hoops.
First
Dunks.
goal in a while.
Yeah, it's the first goal in a long while, I feel like.
And it looked like it was from the front of the hoops.
Yeah, 70-30.
That does seem to be what they are going for, is go behind the hoops and try to either shoot or pass and
Absolutely.
get that kind of intentional double tap almost.
I would say so. It looked like there might have been a little bit of disagreement in bludger play that just occurred near Michigan State's keeper zone. I heard somebody shouting. So he wasn't very happy about what went down over that way, I'm sure. But Michigan State has brought in Klein again to beat number 99. Been really great, honestly, for them all day. So not sure if it was something to do with him on that side, or I cannot see the number for my other beater at this time. But so
And it seems like Ball State. Oh,
yep, it is going to be a blue card on Klein. Playing through beat. So number 99 got beat, was called beat, and ignored it.
I know from experience yesterday that is a blue card indeed.
Yes. Did you get a blue card, Allie?
They took it back for reasons I don't understand, but I mean, I got a yellow card similarly later, so it's fine.
It's okay. It happens
I
to the
always
best of
wonder
us.
why people don't listen to refs, and then I realize, oh, they are yelling at me, and I cannot hear. So,
Yep, and in
caught up in the moment.
in that penalty, bludger turnover to Ball State. Ball State now with bludger control.
Dustin Minnick playing pretty high up.
And I do believe that Juanis is going to get
Not
called
sure
for
what that
diving on the
was.
pitch. I was going to say that was a pretty obvious. Prime had to jump
he's
out of
ready.
the way to avoid.
He is ready to
collision.
hand over his headband.
So that's going to be 2 Michigan State players in the box.
Dear.
Oh, 1 beater in Klein, and then their current keeper who has to pass off the headband to player Jones and take his minute in the box for Juanis.
And it seems to me that Ball State seems pretty comfortable with their beaters because they have not been subbing in pairs. They have been pretty rotational. So they've had a lot of combos of just, when are you ready? Let's all go in. We seem to be on pretty much the same page.
And there are no bludgers on defense. for
Jacob
Michigan State.
Davis!
There we go, Jake.
That was
There we go,
an
Jake.
easy play to make.
Looks 40, I should be 40-70, right?
Yes, it should be 40-70. I just don't think they flipped the card on the far side yet. There we go.
That makes me feel better.
16-30.
Ball State holding on to bludgers even after that goal. Michigan State getting a few fresh
Sending
legs
someone back
into
there.
the Quaffle game again. Clemente with the Quaffle at keeper. Klein back in for Michigan State after that good goal. A lot of bludgers being thrown
In
into play.
Pratt's hands. Ooh,
And
that was interesting.
push
What will
that
happen?
I thought might have been from behind, but nobody seems to be calling it. A shot from Clemente, but it's too high, goes over the hoops.
Did
Tim
not
Brown
hit
of
that
Michigan
line.
State recovers the Quaffle at midline, passes back off to Clemente. Clemente walking it in slowly. Michigan State somehow ended up with bludger control out of all that. An exchange of bludgers, Zach beat, Klein beat.
Ooh,
Shot
went
too
under.
low.
Needed to
From
be maybe
Michigan
one
State.
step closer to that hoop. to make that
Definitely.
It went pretty straight down.
And that's the second shot that number 18, Gwendolyn Pratt, has taken that has just been a little bit too low.
She wants to dunk.
She wants to dunk, but she's just got to get that a little bit closer. Uh-oh, Minnick looking like he might be a little bit sore after that last beat. Running back to the hoops. Prime picks up the Quaffle, passes across the hoops, but it gets blocked. That was a great block by Markland.
Number 6, Landon Norton, pretty fresh in every sense. I don't think that he's been in yet, and he's up in a pretty... Looks like he's trying to play point. Just trying to get set up here, Ball State.
Yeah, it's not a bad time to get some real fresh legs. Markland trying to dunk, but again, goes too low and just outside of the hoop. Michigan State having a couple options here, but not being able to capitalize and just get that ball through the hoop, which I do believe is a saying that goes back into Michigan State's history in regards to putting their elbow through the hoop. It's insane. Sorry, Allie.
It happens.
Ball State walking the Quaffle up. Michigan State sticking to their tree defense seems to be working for the most part, so why not stick to what's working?
Michigan State has control again. It looks like it looked like 99 pretty much just took that. Joel Klein just pretty much took that ball out of Delaney's hands.
He's very
I
good
don't
at
like
that.
it.
He just is able to grab the ball and just strip it from just about anybody in regards to the bludger anyway. I don't
The
think I've
only
ever seen
beaters
him
who are
off
allowed to do that are Ball State. So,
okay.
but I'm very objective. So
That's fair. Oh, and
there we go,
ball
David
number
Hurt.
8.
Wow.
That's a good. That's one way to keep Ball State in this game. I do believe that makes it 70-50, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
back in what we Back in my day, we called that snitch range.
That is such range.
Well, but that still matters.
It
a
still
little bit.
is. I'm just a grump.
What's interesting though, no, you don't have to be a grump. Snitch range is actually, I think, a lot wider now. Like strategically,
It is interesting,
you know,
yes.
you can come back from this, and given how slow the pace is going, like you notice Michigan State has not scored any goals in a while, and it took them
Yes.
forever to score number 7. This gives Ball State a good advantage for
Markland charging
whatever we call
in.
Snitch on pitch now.
Throws
That is
that
another
quaffle
goal
through
for
the
Michigan.
hoop.
I eat my words.
And Ball State
What are we
runs
doing,
to try to
David?
recover that.
He looks
bludger.
very confused.
Not
But I think a lot of them do.
Yeah, a lot of them do look quite confused. I think it's in regards to where the quaffle might have been picked up before the start of that drive.
Yes, there are quite a few little keeper rules I do not know.
Yeah, I think there might be something about them having to restart it on their side of the pitch potentially, but it's not something that you see very often. But with the turf being the way it is, that ball does tend to roll, and I could be completely wrong in this.
It did
but-
get scored from behind the hoop, so it went towards the midline and not the baseline to be recovered by Ball State. So
Yeah, and it definitely,
I don't know, man.
looks like it could be a very easy goal, except for the stoppage that just occurred.
and that is David Brewer's bread and butter, is just grabbing it and running and putting an elbow through the hoop.
Yeah, and honestly,
He has
I mean,
carried some hoops off.
as long as there's no turnover, he could still very much do that because the only thing between him and the hoops is a dismounted player, I believe. At least I thought she was dismounted, but maybe not. Either way, it's him against one and 3 hoops that are open.
And he, what's a really fast animal? Suddenly I'm blanking. He runs like a really sure. I don't like that one. That sounds like that's the whole like cheater joke, right? He's fast. I was gonna say gazelle, but that sounds
And yes,
There we go.
Yep,
Beautiful.
like I
Didn't
said,
even need an elbow
3
through the hoop.
hoops, off-broom chaser, nothing to stand in the way.
And we're up to I think 60, 80, or is that a 9? Oh, yes.
80-50? Is that 60?
It says 60-80 here.
80-60. Okay, they just haven't updated their
I've been
scorecards
squinting
again.
this whole
It's
time
all
and
good.
didn't realize it was right in front of me.
Well, it doesn't help that I think there's also a water bottle in front of Michigan State's score, which I think might be
But no, it's literally right
look
next
funny.
to us.
Oh,
is the
then
thing.
it's on the computer, of course. We should know that. Michigan State
We're
wants the
too old for
quaffle back
computers.
up. Toth back in at Chaser, along with Clemente and Markland.
Lots of bludgers flying right at that center hoop on Ball State's side. Oh, and Caitlin
Clemente passes to Toth.
Ninson
Toth.
catches it. Oh, that one came with sound effects.
That one definitely came with sound effects.
And
Oh.
we're at the 20.
I did not hear the call for the 20-minute mark. But that
Didn't
is our
either.
intermission. Looks like we have
And
Christian
so that
Barnes
is-
that will be our snitch.
60-90 at the end of the floor.
So if 90 is, well, 160? So 160, yes. Yes,
Ball State
160. I can do
needs-
math because we add 70
I'm
to
a
the
STEM
highest
teacher.
score. We add 70, and that is our set score.
needs 10 goals to win.
Or
And that's all I care about.
or a snitch catch.
That
Or
too.
a snitch catch.
So Allie, you have a special relationship with this team, having played on Ball State for a while, as well as been the manager for Indianapolis Intensity, where some of the players landed after this MLQ summer. What do you think they're talking about in that huddle right now?
I hope they're talking about patience and slowing things down and setting up their own game, because they like to run and they like to just get excited and run on those emotions that we talked about earlier, or I talked about earlier. But they know what to do. It's a matter of executing it, because they do have a very wide spectrum of experience in that circle.
What about you, Christina? What do you think Michigan needs to do to win this?
I think Michigan State sort of just needs to stick to their game a little bit. A couple of their games earlier today, it's come up pretty close. Where honestly, it's been across a lot of the college games today, where they sort of like get to those last 2 goals or the last goal, and all of a sudden there's like this static thing that happens where suddenly nobody's scoring anymore, and these games aren't ending, and it's just back and forth. So I think they're talking about how they're going to keep up the scoring, as well as probably how they're going to allocate bludgers once the snitch is on pitch, because as Allie has stated, Ball State has done an excellent job of keeping their bludgers, and not just in the sense that they're not throwing them, but they're in making smart plays with their bludgers. And as we know, if you have bludger control, your beaters are making smart plays. It can make it very, very difficult to catch the Snitch. And our current score is 90-60. That Snitch catch can make this an even game all over again.
The third headband that Zach has put on today is yellow.
Yep.
So they will be coming towards the Snitch. I don't see a state seeker yet.
Yeah, State Seeker is
Oh, I do.
hidden
Right in
behind
front of me.
Christian.
It's like right in front of me.
Ethan Wanis will be seeking for Michigan
Yes.
State.
So somebody who has been putting up a lot of points for them too.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, Ball State is 10 goals away, Michigan State 7, and obviously either of them catching that Snitch can close the gap.
Starting with the Quaffle and Brewer's hand. I'm glad he sees that bludger down there and isn't running towards it.
Yeah,
Good job.
that's always something you want to recognize. I think the only person I know that ever really charges that one is Andrew Axtell, because he is quoted as saying, "Charge at one, you cowards."
Ooh, that went
that
the wrong
was
side.
such a close shot. It just banged
Twisted
off
that
the
hoop.
side of the hoop. That's always so frustrating. Especially when you fight that hard and end up falling over after your shot.
And then everybody hears the whistle from the pitch behind us.
Yes.
And Melton has to yell, "That's not ours.
Continue
Let's go."
play. Let's go, guys. Michigan State Clemente walking it up, passes
Ooh,
the ball
Dustin
off
Minnick.
to Weiss behind the hoops, back to Clemente, Clemente to Markland. Markland walks
Arm
that ball
through
in and
the
takes the
hoop.
hoop with him. A little bit of confusion, it looks like. People stopped for play near the Ball State hoops. I think the whistle they might have thought was for a Snitch catch, but it was
It looks
not.
like Ball State is putting that. It looks like Ball State is putting the one bludger they have on that Snitch, recognizing that the Snitch is pretty critical to making this closer or making this a really hard fight.
Absolutely, and Michigan State seems to be keeping both of their bludgers in the seeking game,
Yeah. Ooh.
which could make it pretty easy.
I don't
for
know about that. That was weird. It looked
to
like
say.
it hit her towards the face,
but
I don't think it was a quote unquote bad one.
the new face beat rules are sometimes hard to determine.
Yeah, they seem
The
pretty.
legitimacy of was it intentional? Were they able to protect themselves? Sort of just depends on what the ref sees in the moment.
Yeah, I can't say what I've seen this weekend has felt logical to me, but it's pretty new.
Yeah, it's pretty new. There's definitely some kinks to work out of it. Quaffle down behind Ball State hoops, but picked up by Markland. Markland trying to force their
Gang
way.
tackling
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's
wrapped up
lots
by
of Ball
2
State
or 3
bodies
Ball
hanging
State
on
chasers.
Markland.
The ball does get stripped out of the way, but somehow still ends up in the hands of Clemente. The pass to Weiss, unfortunately, just wide, and is able to get picked up by number 8 of Ball State, David Brewer.
We've got Helen Trudell back in.
Yeah, Helen Trudell back in at Chaser. Wanis and Zach are still our seekers. It's getting about time, you think, where the seekers might take a sub. Both of them are looking pretty gassed.
Wanis is just walking back to the
Yeah.
hoop.
Both of them are looking pretty gassed.
Dustin Minnick doing the most. God, I love Dustin Minnick so much.
Him and Irwin have made an excellent team, and in the meantime,
They both have a beautiful
Great
amount
goal
of
in number
aggression.
8.
I was
Did
gonna
you all
say-
just see that? That was incredible.
Brewer sort of just turns his back like he's not even going to do anything, and then in making Michigan State think he's not going to do anything, just turns around and takes the shot. Nice, easy goal.
Oh, we're
for
throwing in
Michigan
Sarah
State.
Malone at Seeker. She is fresh. I think this might be her first minute of the weekend, actually.
I was going to say, I have not seen her at
I didn't
Seeking.
think she was going to play this weekend.
I haven't seen her seeking at any of the other games I've been at previously, but she's definitely
Yes,
coming in feisty.
Alyssa. Oh, and good speed.
Yeah. It's okay. I think there was just some confusion
trade
on
of
who had what
bludgers.
bludgers and whether they were able to claim immunity.
Yeah, I think she
Current
thought she
score
had
is
immunity.
100 to 80 though, so Ball
Delaney
State
takes
has
it.
managed to get a little bit closer during the Snitch on pitch game. Pass behind the
Two-player
hoops.
Jones behind the hoops. Through that top center hoop.
Yep, and it looks like Brewer might just go for it. Oh, but he doesn't see the bludger to his right. Excellent
Right in the
job by Jack Myers for recognizing that, hey, there's nothing really going on with the Snitch. I can just get this easy beat on Quaffle.
Oh, they wanted to beat that Seeker and it didn't work. Yes, Will dodges it.
Now, I haven't played beater in many, many years now, but I imagine that especially during a Snitch on pitch when you're trying to beat Seekers, it can get kind of frustrating, especially with the Seekers diving everywhere and basically just creating like matrix scenarios where you throw that bludger because they're there 1 second and then the next minute they're not. Is that true? Do you speak to that as a beater,
I
Hallie?
think I just lost my mind. What happened?
No, it's
I was very distracted by these beaters over here with the out-of-bounds stuff going on, but yes, a lot of this beater play has been very fascinating, and that's why I'm glad you're focused on the quaffle.
It's all good. Wasn't so much quaffle as it was snitch play at the time.
Yes.
Because just as a beater for snitch on pitch, obviously the seekers are sort of throwing their body every which way.
Yes,
So it's
and
sort
it
of-
can be very hard to aim at that, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking as someone who has questionable aim quite often.
Sometimes it works out, but
Yes.
other times you just can't determine where their body's going to be next.
And it looked like these beaters... I would have called that was a double beat, but I don't ref. So
And
it
it
looked
looks
confusing.
like we're getting a seeker sub for
For Juanis, yes.
Juanis.
Blood.
I think, okay.
The two yes. The two
looks-
I have been confusing, Juanis and Markland, is now Markland
Yes.
instead of Juanis.
Markland is in.
Juanis seems tired. Juanis has been doing a lot today.
Yeah, and it sounds like there might have been a situation where there was an open wound on his neck.
Oh, the word wound. Okay.
Sorry. Blood. Does blood work better?
Actually,
Can't have blood on the
surprisingly, yes.
pitch.
Yes, that's better.
No blood on the pitch. We can't do that. So that looks like they're getting handled on the sideline. Markland will step in and seek for Michigan State.
Delaney with the
play
throwback.
back behind the
She's
hoops.
going to keep
Movement
that
of the
control
ball.
for Ball State so that Will can keep that bludger in quaffle play.
Shot,
That
but it is good through the top of the
when
hoop.
it looks like it
And
went
that-
in, it doesn't.
Number 10 for Michigan State. Fiedner. Excuse me. Fiedner.
I think that's Fiedner.
Fiedner? Nathan.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's a long I.
First time I've seen Michigan State sort of getting into their depth at this
Ooh,
point.
double beat on
Third game
Ball
of the day.
State's. Double beat on the Snitch beaters. Oh my goodness, words.
And there's a lot going on by the Michigan State hoops. Obviously, Ball State trying to score. Brewer gets tackled, but
There is a
Liz
significant-
Prime by the small hoop, battling it out with Michigan State's, I think that's Gwendolyn Pratt. Both of them
18?
sort of just pushing on each other.
Yes, Gwendolyn Pratt.
Now we got
Ball State's got both beaters
a lot
on
of
that
standing around
snatch.
near the seeker, but we've got Brown for Michigan State taking the ball in, passes off to Pratt, who passes back to Brown. Brown trying to figure out what to do around the hoops, looking for some openings and some help.
Got a very significant size difference on the seekers who are currently
Ooh,
pursuing.
pass attempt by Brown to Nathan is blocked by Brewer.
That was a cheap
Brewer.
shot deflected by the keeper. For keeper Powers, it's keeper ball.
All right, so Brewer gets to inbound the quaffle. That shot was him saving the shot. So since it was a block shot that sent it out of play, Ball State gets to recover an inbound. And they
Hey,
take
Ball
it down
State,
for an easy
goal.
goal. I believe the score is 90-100 now.
It looks like 120. I
120?
don't like
Okay,
that.
there's
I'm
a glare on it from
Yeah,
the sun.
from both things.
yeah,
Yes.
from everything. 90-120.
both of our sources. Oh,
A lot happening here. No snitch catch
putting
yet.
in that Lauren Ontel at seeker again.
Tim Brown taking the quaffle in, takes this long shot, and it is good for Michigan State. Scores 130-90. Michigan State leads, but remember our set score is 160, so both teams still
It
in
looks
this.
like
although a snitch
Michigan
catch
State might just
could.
get that control. I think.
Snitch catch here by Juanis could do it for Michigan State. He's all alone, no Ball State bludgers. Now we got one coming in back into play for Ball State.
Ball State seeker beat.
Exchange of bludgers, one goes flying out of bounds. And in the meantime, there's a goal from Ball State.
Jacob Davis.
That makes our score 100-130.
Oh my
Michigan
God.
State leads.
Oh my God.
Set score 160.
Ball
score
State
160.
not giving up here. A snitch catch would change the tide for them completely.
Absolutely. I mean, either
It
of
would
them that catch
put
the
them
snitch
in the
could
lead right now. Actually.
really change the flow of this game.
So yes, snitch range does still exist. It's just not how it used to be in my day.
Yeah, it's just not our initial thought of what
We
the
had to
snitch range
walk
game
both
is. Oh, a
Uphill
pass.
both ways.
Awesome passing around the hoops from Claire
Brewer's
Jones
got
to
it. He's
Tom.
gonna put it in. He's gonna put it in. He's gonna
was
put
gonna
it
say,
in.
there's-
Oh!
And that
Yes!
Wow,
I love that.
Beat by Myers, but
He's
unfortunately
too fast!
hits the ground before Brewer can even Yeah, it just sort of skipped across the
Brewer
ground.
needs to
Brewer was
do
nowhere
that
near it.
5 more times.
Right? That was an
Can
awesome
he
goal.
do it?
110 to 140. Oh my god, I don't like that.
110
Okay.
to 140, our set score 160.
Oh, we got Alyssa Irwin back in with her
The beater who's
Angry
in
face
frame
on.
Right now
She's
from
got her
Ball
angry
State,
face
just
on
having
and a
an
bludger in
incredible
her
game.
hand. I would be terrified.
What makes
Shout
me
out to
sad is I
Matt
have not heard her scream Control yet this
Oh,
weekend.
a great block by Irwin. Myers threw his bludger at her, and she just said, "No, sir, not today."
Will Ramsey taking that bludger into the Quaffle game. They are ready to go.
And Brewer's just running the quaffle up. But unfortunately, it goes right off the bracket of the hoop, but he picks it back up, recovers it. Nobody there, though, to help him out from Ball State. Quaffle ends up in the hands of keeper Nathan Clemente on Michigan State. Nathan, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I was like, I know it's Clemente, but I can't remember. There's multiple Nathans on this pitch right now.
I am straight up
Excuse
just
me.
watching Snitch right now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You can commentate on Snitch, and I'll try to
There's a
watch the
reason
Quaffle game as best
there's a
as
reason
I
I
can.
switched to beater, and it's because Quaffle game just too much.
Ball State played a pretty tight defense around their hoops, trying to prevent Michigan State from scoring again. Pratt trying to charge in.
And they
Ball
knock
gets
it out.
stripped from her by
Oh, and
Brewer.
we've got it back in David Brewer's
Going for it,
hands,
gets
and
whacked
he,
by 50.
that's what you got to do to him. You got to take him down.
Picks up the quaffle. Weiss tries to get in the way of her path. It looks like Ball State's gonna, slow it down.
Chip Seeker's gotten beat.
Michigan State setting themselves up on defense for the first time. It seems like we've had a lot of really fast back and forth. So I think this is the first time we've seen like a set defense and a set offense happening in a few drives, either direction. Zach back in at the quaffle game for Ball State. Passes the ball back behind
To
the hoops.
Jacob Davis, who has a Zoc option and a prime option.
Davis.
And that
oh,
didn't.
Zach tries to take a
That
shot,
looked
it's
more
too
like
low.
straight to Pratt.
Now, I learned a fun fact about Davis, and that this is his first semester.
Yes.
He's only played only been to 4 practices
He
or
was
something
at Ball
before
Brothers.
coming here.
I'm 99% sure he was at Ball Brothers. I love that he's wearing a LeMay jersey because his name is Jake, and so was LeMay of my era.
That's pretty
Because
awesome.
Ball State has some extra jerseys there.
Michigan State walking the quaffle up the pitch again. Ball State looking ready on defense.
Will Ramsey takes down Caitlin Knudsen.
Knudsen, I think, is how we have to determine.
Yes.
I believe it is sounds. Oh, a pass behind the hoops to Pratt. Pratt trying to get the shot out, unable to.
Right on the pole.
Oh, another racket.
And Jacob Davis takes it.
Only thing to try to stop him.
Yes!
No, cannot stop him. Scores 120 to 140.
Oh my
We
god!
still have not had a snitch catch.
Wow.
And set score is 160, so
Yes.
Ball State defense doing an incredible job during this game.
they really are. I mean, they have put a stop to Michigan State
Oh, we have
running
a
away
new
with the
seeker in for
quaffle.
Ball
We've got
State, number
Shway.
21.
Weiss gets the quaffle for Michigan State at the hoop, passes the ball off to Clemente.
Shway Sundarajan?
Clemente to Juanis. Juanis back to Pratt. Pratt unable to get through. Passes out to Weiss. Weiss finally able to put it through. That was a lot of passing around the hoops to just get that one goal.
David Brewer
Scores
beat. Oh
120
no.
to 150.
Zoc takes it.
One more would
Be
do it for
patient,
Michigan
y'all. Be
State.
patient, be patient, be patient. Let him come back.
Zach passes it to Prime. Prime walking her way into Michigan State defense. Passes it off to Davis.
Against
a
two
little bit
bludgers.
of miscommunication. Davis passes it off to Brewer. And we got a stoppage of play.
Oh,
looks
they're
like it
gonna
might
say
be.
Dustin did something that I would never believe Dustin would ever do.
Yeah, it looks like there was
So I'm
a
sure he did, but okay.
an odd tackle of Minnick on Myers. I'm not sure.
Oh, we've got a timeout.
And we've got a timeout for.
Was that just a timeout call or was that a Dustin call?
We will find out once the timeout is complete. Usually the head ref will let us know after the timeout. Players return to their brooms and then can call the foul if there is one. It was hard to say from this point of view whether there was in fact a foul.
I just heard something and then looked. So by the time I looked, contact had been made.
Yes.
And I saw a bludger bouncing and it,
2 people on the
away
ground.
from, in my opinion, and away from the correct player, the Michigan State player, so that Dustin could go recover it.
So we will see what ends up happening. It does look like head referee Matt Melton is discussing with Dustin Minnick of Ball State on the pitch right now. What the potential call may be or what happened in the situation. We will find out.
Oh, it's a timeout. That's why Dustin's running back. I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
It's fine.
It's all good. It is all good. Very close game here, though. 150 to 120, set score 160. So anything could happen. That's one thing I've determined from this regional is anything can happen. You just don't even know.
It felt like 6 years that it took to end that Ball State Columbia game this morning, where it was literally 5 points to a set score.
That was a very,
exhausted.
very long game, and I can't imagine being a player on Ball State right now, being in their third game of the day, having had their very first game go for that long.
2 time slots.
2 time slots, yeah. So that's definitely probably playing a little bit of a role here, but they're definitely holding their own and not throwing in the towel, which, I mean, this point in the bracket, you really can't. Everyone's fighting for those bids. All right,
Yeah,
players.
our Ball State beaters this year, that Dustin Alyssa duo, I just love it so much. Beautiful aggression from both of them.
Absolutely. Players have returned to their brooms, so we should be getting started here shortly. Head referee Matt Melton walking his way on the pitch. Still not sure if he's going to call a foul on what looked like no player.
They are sending Dustin back to hoops, I think.
Yes.
I don't
and
like
it does
it, but
look like
whatever.
there was a beater change for Michigan State.
Yes.
Klein is now in where Myers was. Markland in as seeker for Michigan State.
The Snitch has left us,
Yeah,
Like-
Snitch has gone to the far side of the pitch.
so now I got to squint, and I don't like it.
Zach walking the quaffle up for Ball State. Michigan State with bludger control at this time. Zach passes off to Brewer. Ball State choosing to keep their
Dustin.
bludgers with the Snitch. It looks like so no bludger protection for the quaffle carriers of Ball State as they're trying to make their way towards the hoops.
Yeah, that Snitch is a much more efficient way of closing this gap right now.
Absolutely.
When you're that close.
Especially because taking a shot at this point for Ball State would mean that the ball could get turned over to Michigan State, and all they have to do is run it back for a goal to end this game. So it's definitely
And it
a
looks
smart way
like-
to allocate their resources at this time.
It looks like they are putting Juanis with that green head or white headband in that traditional keeper
Long
spot.
pass across the hoops to Brewer, but Sarah
Pratt.
or
I
Pratt.
think that's Pratt.
Yes, that is Pratt. Pratt able to jump onto the quaffle, Turtle on top of it, and Michigan State now with the quaffle possession, walking their way up the hoop, up to potentially get their last goal in this game.
If I had nails to bite,
Juanis walking,
they're
But-
putting 7 Clemente back behind those hoops.
but it does look like Minnick has been brought back into the game on quaffle to leave Snitch for this moment. Juanis gets the quaffle inside the Ball State keeper zone and is able to throw it through the top hoop. I can't see anything wrong that potentially might have happened, but it does look like Ball State has a player down in the beater
It's
game
Dustin.
next to a Michigan State player, so I'm not sure if anything would have happened in that small area of the field to affect that
Yeah,
goal.
I don't think it affected it.
You know,
Juanis was far enough out on that shot that I'm not sure that where that beater play landed. I don't know that it. I didn't see it, but it seemed like Juanis was far enough of the way that they might not be able to call that it affected play.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see what the ARs and HR decide.
I also
this
don't know
moment.
those rules very well, so.
It sort of just depends on what was
Yeah.
seen. If there was very obvious contact between Minnick and Klein, that would have affected Minnick's ability to be able to potentially beat Juanis. All right, goal is good. Nothing to call on the play, unfortunately. So, apologies, Allie. I love so many of your Ball State players too, as Indianapolis teammates and beyond, they're just good people. So, tough loss. But I don't believe that puts them out just yet. There's
I
a
am not
third
going to
part
lie, I
of
have
the
no
ladder
idea how the
if
bracket
I'm not mistaken.
works.
So
Not been paying attention
Ball
to that part.
State, Ball State lost this game, so they are dropping down to the third rung of the bracket. They are not out yet,
Okay.
but we will be back. We'll be back next with the finals. We will be back with the finals. Creighton versus Michigan. Stay tuned. More great Quidditch coming at you. Thank you so much, Allie and Christina. A pleasure.